Hey, hi
Hi,
Michelle.
how are you, Alex?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
Good to see you.
You too. You too. You too.
Okay,
Thank you.
take it.
Thank you very much for approaching us to come and talk to us on the business work and mindset podcast.
Yeah, thank you. Where are you based out of?
We're actually in London. In London. So,
London.
yeah.
Wonderful.
Absolutely. So, a lot of our UK-based listeners and the US will be actually very interested to listen to you and catch up with you. So it should be good, you know.
Are most of your clients in the US or London?
US and the UK as well. So we are pretty much global. Got people listening to us from all over. So
Wonderful.
it's great to have people like yourselves coming up and catching up with us. So people are looking forward to that. So yeah,
The last two. Okay, sorry. I'm just asking him to fix my screen.
that's all right. That's all right. How have your day been so far? All good.
Yeah, back-to-back podcast. And
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, you've got a lot of stuff to offer, so which is good, which is good.
yes, sir.
Yeah. So yeah, I just thought maybe to begin with, just to get our listeners into yourself and what you do. If you could just start off by just giving us a little bit of a background of yourself as well, and your experience and what you're into, just to sort of set the scene, if that's all right. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Where do you want me to start?
So just I guess a good starting point will be like your experience. So humble beginnings originally, your experience in business, what you've done so far, and what you specialize in, and all of that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Sure. So I've always been an entrepreneur. I did go to work for corporate America. At one point, I went to work at Xerox, but I've always been an entrepreneur. I do have experience in franchise sales, franchise consulting, franchise development. Did that for several years, and then I transitioned into selling businesses. So I'm a mergers and acquisitions master intermediary.
Yeah.
Senior business analyst, professional mergers and acquisitions. I have a bunch of acronyms, and I've been in this industry for about 20 years. I personally have sold over 500 companies, but my company has sold over 1,000.
Yeah. Wow, that's a lot.
So we specialize in buying, selling, fixing, and growing companies.
Companies. Yeah.
So I buy businesses, I flip them, I partner with business owners, investing my money, my time, resources, energy, and effort in which to get those businesses sold for the seller's desired price tag.
Yeah, great. So I see you've got quite a lot of experience within the mergers and acquisition, just like you've started. So obviously, there's a lot of stuff that you can take us through. But I wanted to start off with your the GPS exit model. Planning your exit from day one. So if you could just talk us through that, how people can actually start thinking about that when they are actually starting their businesses, rather than somewhere in the middle or at the end of it. Yeah.
Sure. And the reason it's so imperative to start the GPS exit model from day one of starting or buying your business is because 8 out of 10 businesses don't sell.
Yeah.
According to Steve Forbes, 8 out of 10 businesses don't sell. And Steve Forbes also wrote an introductory to my book. He gave us a glowing testimonial. The reason that 8 out of 10 businesses don't sell, Alex, is because most business owners will call me up and they'll say, Michelle, I have to sell because, health issues or partner disputes or divorce. I just had a lady call me and she was in tears. Her husband dropped dead of a heart attack.
Oh.
And he had a construction company, but he had no succession plan. He had no exit plan of his business. And I started asking her questions like, okay, well, how long has he been in business? She said 35 years. I said, great. How many employees does he have? She said, none. He has all subcontractors. It was a construction business. And then I started asking more questions. He didn't have a business to sell. So he left this poor little old lady in debt, not knowing anything about his business. And he really doesn't have anything for us to sell. So all business owners should be thinking about planning their exit, if not for them, at least for your loved ones. Very important. And the reason it's so important is because most business owners don't think about selling until a catastrophic event happens, like COVID or internal things like health, death, etc. That's the worst time to sell your business, Alex. The best time to sell the business is when your business is doing really, really well.
Yeah.
So you want to sell the business when it's doing good. So you want to think about the exit from the beginning. As crazy as that sounds, you got to do it, because here's what happens, Alex, is business owners don't have a plan. So they don't have an exit plan. So they're driving around in circles, driving up and down the financial hills, winding up nowhere. Many business owners are going to be forced into selling for pennies on the dollar, closing their business, or even worse, filing bankruptcy. And I don't want to see business owners become a part of that statistic. I want to see business owners retire rich and sell the business for their desired price tag. So that's why they really should follow the GPS exit model.
The GPS exit. So I guess within that model, there are specific things that people have to consider, which they have to put in place at the start, which I guess when situations have happened, might be life-changing events which are forcing them to sell, it's relatively difficult, or it may cost them more to actually implement those rather than if they had thought about that when they're actually setting the business. Is that yeah?
Absolutely. So do you want me to walk you through the method, the actual plan? Okay.
Yes, please.
So first and foremost, when you want to drive somewhere in London, and I've been to London a few times, but when you want to drive somewhere to London, what do you do? What do you do anywhere in the world? You pull out your phone, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And then you use Google Maps, or you use Waze, or you use one of those applications, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you plug in. What do you plug in? Your destination.
Yeah.
Destination. You plug in where you want to go. The problem with business owners is they never figure out where they want to go. So you got to figure out, where do I want to go? What's my end game? What's my desired sales price? So let's say you want to sell for $20 million. Great. Plug in $20 million. I want to sell for $20 million. That's a start. Now you have a number, right? So what else does the GPS need to know? Well, now it needs to know, where am I starting from? What's my current location? Valuation, meaning what is your current evaluation? What is your business worth today? It's shocking to me, Alex, how many business owners never have an evaluation on their business. Us humans get a physical checkup every year to make sure we're in good health. We drive our car into the shop to make sure it's in good health, and we get a tune-up from our mechanic. But we never go to our M&A expert to get a business evaluation checkup once a year, because there are events that can cause your business to increase in value, and there are events that can cause your business to decrease in value. So you want to make sure you have that business checkup once a year. So let's say your business is worth $5 million today, and you want to sell for $20 million, right?
Yeah.
So now you need to know time frame. So let's say you want to do that in 10 years. You want to sell for $20 million, you're worth $5 million. You want to do that in 10 years. So now you need to know, well, who are my buyers going to be? Not buyers. You need more than one buyer, Alex. So I'll tell you who your buyers are not going to be.
Yeah.
You're not going to sell it to a first-time buyer because they can't afford a $20 million company. And you're not going to sell it to a turnaround specialist because they buy distressed assets. They don't pay $20 million for a company.
Yeah.
So your buyers are going to be a private equity group, a strategic/competitor, or a serial sophisticated entrepreneur. Those who will be your buyers. Then you need to figure out, Alex, where do the financials need to be to sell my business for $20 million? Where's the top line got to be? And then where's the EBITDA need to be? EBITDA is earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, amortization.
Yeah.
So to sell for $20 million, your EBITDA needs to be between $4 to $5 million.
Yeah.
And now you need to ask yourself, what is the buying criteria? What synergies are buyers buying? What are they looking for? And then you build your business to run on all 6 cylinders, all 6 Ps, like we talk about in Exit Rich.
Yeah.
Now, the last ingredient into the GPS exit model is your why. Why do you want to sell the business for $20 million? You have to have a powerful why, because if it was easy to sell a business for $20 million, everybody would be doing it, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so it's not easy. You're going to go up and down financial roller coasters, up and down those financial hills. You're going to have to weather the financial storm. So you need a powerful why to keep you motivated, to keep you in the game, to keep you hungry, so you need that why. And then you need to build the business based upon the 6 Ps. So that's the GPS exit model. Make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for that, Michelle. And I guess the model is also useful for someone who, even if their destination is not initially to sell, but if you set up yourself so that if something happens, you could sell. So that's another good way of actually thinking about the approach as well.
Exactly. You need to protect your biggest asset. And you need to make sure that if you have to, you can sell your biggest asset. Right now, so many business owners want to sell, but can't sell because they don't have a valuable business because they never built one.
Yeah.
Or the business is too dependent upon them. You got to make sure that your business is not dependent upon you, that your business can run without you. Because if you're the business, and I can promise you, your business is not sellable. Buyers want to buy a business, not a job.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. Thanks, Michelle. What about the 6 Ps? You talk about the 6 Ps in building a sustainable, scalable, and sellable business. Are you able to talk us through those, please?
Sure, absolutely. So the 6 Ps is the foundation of your business. It is the infrastructure. It's what creates a sustainable, scalable business. So when you're ready, it is sellable. So the 6 Ps are the ingredients that you must build your foundation on. So number 1 is people. You don't build a business, Alex. You build people, and people build the business. So you got to have the right people in the right seats. A lot of times business owners have the right people, but they have them misplaced. They're not in the right seats. And you got to ask yourself the who question. Who deals with customer service issues? Who deals with legal? Who deals with environmental? Who deals with accounting? Who deals with manufacturing? Who deals with transportation, logistics? Who does banking? Who opens the doors? The list goes on and on. Who? But Alex, here's the clue. You should never be next to the who. You should never be next to the who. I have businesses that come to me all the time that want to sell their company, and they're not sellable because they are the business. But I'll give you a couple examples. A dental practice, 1 dentist. Is that sellable? No. The only way that is sellable is that the dentist gets associates in and keeps associates for so long, and then they can be on the path of selling. Or if we take the price and attach it to the owner, to the dentist, staying in the practice for 2 or 3 or 4 years. Okay? So you got to build a business that runs without you. If you're branding yourself and you're not branding your business, you're missing the mark. You also got to brand your business, and you got to make sure you have the right people in place. Also, if you're trying to sell from $20 million, you got to have a management team in place. You got to have a layer between you and your employees. So you need a COO, you need a CFO, you need that management team in place. So that's the first P. The second P is product. So you got to ask yourself, is your industry on the way up or on the way out? Your product. Which is your industry? Way up, way out. Are you an Amazon and you're crushing it? Are you a Blockbuster and it's crushing you? And if you have a Blockbuster, Alex, then you really got to align yourself with a mentor who can help you see things more clearly, because a lot of times when you're in the middle of the chaos, it's hard to think objectively. And so you really need to ask yourself 3 transformational questions Amazon did this way back when they started. They asked themselves, what business are we in? And they said, we're in the book selling business. That's what we do. We sell books. And then they asked themselves, well, what do we do really, really well? Oh, we do book fulfillment really, really well. Like, we are the best at doing fulfillment. What business should we be in? And then Amazon said, we need to be in a fulfillment business. Ding, 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 ding. So those three transformational questions is what really transformed Amazon into a small book selling company to a multi-billion dollar worldwide conglomerate. So that's product. The third P is processes. You gotta have processes. So many business owners don't think about processes until something bad happened. So somebody got hurt at the office. Oh no, we need a process for that. Or let's say a customer complains and blasts you all over the internet. Oh no, we need a process for that. Processes should really be designed from the beginning, and they should be designed with the customer experience in mind. So many companies these days are building companies and are not taking in what they want that customer experience to be like. Like, did you ever watch the movie The Founder, based upon the McDonald's story?
No, I haven't seen that one. I've heard of it, but it's on the list.
You got to watch The Founder. Watch it right away. It's a great, great, great movie. Back in the 40s, they had these type of drive-up, like a Sonic type restaurants. That's all they had. And the waiters and waitresses would come out on roller skates. But back then, they never perfected the process. So the order was always wrong. The food was cold, and it took too long. So McDonald brothers, who started McDonald's, now Ray Kroc came in and basically took it away from McDonald's and grew it to the empire it is today. But the McDonald's brothers back in the 40s said, we want, our vision, our mission is to create a fast food restaurant, and we want the customer experience to be this. We want our customers to get great tasting food that's hot and fast, 2 minutes or less. How are we going to accomplish that? Because there was nothing like that back in the 40s.
Yeah.
So they went out to an empty tennis court. They took all their employees. They mapped out the process with chalk. They erased it, started all over again. They did this all day, Alex, until they figured out who takes the order, who toasts the buns, who cooks the burgers, who puts the pickles on the buns, and who gives it to the client 2 minutes or less. Those processes is why you can eat at a McDonald's in London or New Zealand or Australia or USA or anywhere in the world because of those processes. The processes are efficient, they're productive, they're designed with the customer experience in mind. Now let's look at an opposite company. Let's look at a company that doesn't do things with the customer experience in mind. Have you ever tried working with PayPal and calling PayPal because you have an issue? It's a nightmare. Same thing with Facebook. Try getting hacked in Facebook. I got hacked, and it took weeks to get anybody to give me any attention or to fix it. There's nobody you can call. There's no real customer service. So those companies are designed with the opposite. They're designed with the processes to alienate us and frustrate us, okay? So you don't want to do that. You want your processes to create a wow experience for your clients. You want it to be productive, efficient, and duplicatable. Most importantly, you want it to be documented. You want to make sure you have policy and procedure manuals, and you want to make sure you have SOP checklists and all your employees are trained on such. Make sense?
Absolutely. Thanks, Michelle.
So then the next P is proprietary. Do you have any questions so far?
No, so far that's great. That's a great sort of setup that you have there on the 6 Ps. So yeah, if you give us the rest of those.